Morning, guys. Well, this is a little follow-up to my little Fleabay edition from yesterday that I did. So I've made a purchase here that we'll go back and look at here for a minute for one of my projects. But kind of the way I go through when I'm going to buy something is I will normally put them in my watch list unless it's just something that I immediately have to grab. And I'll think about it a little bit, and then I'll go back and research it a little bit more too before I really plop down my money, because Fleabay is, we know that a lot of times I'm not a fan, although you can find some decent buys, sometimes some good buys. But anyway, what I was doing is I was looking at milling machine parts, because I've got that MH1 mill that I'm putting back together, and I'm still gathering a little bit of parts. I'm getting a little more motivated on that project, so I was shopping parts while I was doing that little Fleabay edition yesterday. So anyway, what I did this morning when I came in and had pretty much decided that I was going to go ahead and purchase that was I went through everything in my watch list, plus I go through the whole search parameters for whatever items that they may be, and in this case it was Atlas milling machines. So in my travels through those, well, I found a couple of things that I found really ludicrous that I found interesting, and there again, kind of a shameless plug for me. The first one is a 6/18 lathe milling attachment jaw, 9-505 jaw piece. It says they want $49 for this piece, and this is what it is. It's one of the vice jaws that goes to that. They want $49, and then whatever the shipping is, I don't know, it was another $6, $7, $8. I don't remember. I'll look on the way out here. But this is a picture of that vice jaw. It's one jaw. Now, whether this is a steel jaw, whether this is an aluminum jaw, irrespective, as I talked about yesterday, and this is for a 6-inch, I sell a pair of these in aluminum for $10, and I think it's $8 shipping. I sell steel blued ones that are the same thing in steel that run through my bluing tanks for $25, and that same $8 shipping. They want $49 for one of these pieces of shit. $49 your best offer, good condition, and $7.99 standard shipping. Okay, how ludicrous can you be? I don't understand it. So anyway, that's the first one. And I'm not going to dwell on these. I just find this very interesting. The other one is Atlas Craftsman 9 to 12 inch lay 10-309 bevel pin sets for the milling attachment. These are the same bevel pins that I sell for $5 a set. I think it's $5 a set for either the 6-inch or the 10-12 inch, 9-10-12 inch. So I sell them for the $5 and the shipping. They want $24.99 and $6.25 to ship it. No, these people are insane. So anyway, that's my little rant for the day. So what I ended up and purchased, and I'm going to have to go back and find them here now. What I found was a table for the MH milling machine. MH4. And this is the table casting. Now, I've got a casting of these. The casting that I have had been repaired. And I was going to use it. I mean, it's a good, safe repair. It's not cosmetically as nice as it could have been, so, but it's the one I was going to use. I previously stated that I was going to use that table, and I wasn't going to make any changes to it because it was a good functional table, and I believe it was. This one came up. They wanted $140 for it, which, I say that's too much. It's one I wanted. So you're going to make these buys irrespective of whether it's a good deal or not. Now, when you look at the price of tables, this is a decent buy, I think, for what they are trying to get for them. Now, the other side to that is there's a very limited market for this particular table. So when you look at the other tables and they want $200 and then shipping on top of them, and $150 and shipping on top of them, this was $140 shipped. So I think I got a fair deal. I don't think I got an exceptionally good deal because it's a casting, and I've said castings aren't worth this much. So I'm going to give kudos to the seller. I think it's a fair deal. You know, I went through, the other thing to look at is feedback. Now we'll see how quickly this is shipped. They've added $5 once payment is cleared, which has already been paid for. So they're saying 5 days, they've got 5 days before they even ship it. So we'll see what the service is. There's been a little bit of complaints about this seller for slow shipping, things like that. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I purchased a new table for this particular mill. So I've been slowly gathering parts for this, and I'm getting somewhat motivated for projects again. I've got several projects in the shop portion along with my airplane projects, and then projects that I'm doing for customers too. So that's where we're at. But anyway, this is what I've acquired. It's a decent looking table. They say it's in excellent condition. It's been polished on all the wear surfaces. You know, you can see this has been polished. There's hopefully that's not a very big scarf mark. That's just a mark from being handled once the top was polished off. But they've run some emery cloth or sandpaper, something across the top, you can see, to make it look a little bit nicer. You know, you look at the back edge, and this has all been polished down. You can see some scuff marks here and here and on down here. It's had some corrosion, and this is the back side of the table, of course. But when we look underneath, why, it doesn't look really great on the gibs. It's, you know, it's a wore out piece of something or other that will have to be reworked. This is going to be the front of the table, same way, been polished down, showing quite a bit of rust staining, probably a little bit of pitting in areas like this and this. You know, once we get it here, we'll look at it a little bit closer and see just what we've got. Now, it doesn't have the rack underneath. They stripped the rack off to try and get a few extra bucks there and things like that, which is not a big deal. I've got a rack that I can transfer over, and this is going to be a standard piece of rack that goes in here. You could take a brand new piece of rack and just drill it to match this, and it would work fine. Drill and countersink it. You know, it's not in, I don't think the underside's in great shape. You know, I think it's okay, but when we're going to look at it, well, you see quite a bit of striations on this end, and it's not the worst I've seen, or else it's been sanded down quite a bit. So we'll see. You know, we can look at the patterns on the top, but it hasn't. See, in the center, it's worn down there quite a bit. We've got some flaking on the ends, or some crosshatch on the ends. So it's spent its life in the middle of the table, as so many of them are. So with this pretty decent crosshatch on this end, or machine marks, these were milled, and lighter in the middle. So it just spent its life working that, you know, 4, 5, 6 inches in the middle of the table there, which is normal. So anyway, that's my purchase. You know, so I thought I'd throw that out there. Hopefully you find that a little bit interesting. Comment suggestions, guys, leave them in the comments section for me below, and have a good weekend.